You're watching When Keeping It Real Goes Wrong.
Oh, wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Yep.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Will you ignorant niggas please shut the hell up?
Hey everybody, Mike here, doing another Inside Edition here in Poland in my flat. As you know from looking at my content, I try to do all things that revolve around Poland, Polish society, and Polish culture. But as we all know right now, the slap heard around the world. Will Smith slapping the living taste out of Chris Rock's mouth.
What is the 5 fingers say to the face?
What?
Slap!
Will Smith turned the Oscars into the BET Awards or the Vibe or Source Awards. Will Smith dumbed it down, and I'm quite disappointed on 2 fronts, and I'm going to give you my reasons. I guess because the Oscar ratings were so low at some point in time, they felt they needed to bring in comedians to kind of lighten the air, lighten the atmosphere. It's a very serious event, or at least it used to be. People know and go into the Oscars assuming with this new format that they're going to hear things that make them uncomfortable because it's comedy. Now, if you look at the history of these awards, Chris Rock, Jada Pinkett, Will Smith, Jada Pinkett made a big stink about it, saying the Oscars were too wide, it's a racist venue.
The winner is Sidney Poitier.
Morgan Freeman.
Cuba Gooding Jr. and
Denzel Washington.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Jamie Foxx and Ray.
Forrest Whitaker in the last.
Here it is, her husband, who makes hundreds of millions of dollars to make films, is saying the institution is racist. And then this comedian, who also is black, is telling jokes. And yes, she was the butt of a joke, and that's generally how comedy works. So if we're going to have, moving forward, comedy, there has to be we're going to have to give comedians a pass at some point because truth is steeped and rooted in comedy. That's the whole point of it. You can make fun of yourselves. You don't have to have this air of confidence, air of arrogance. It's to break holes into this false narrative of how perfect. You're celebrating your achievements, but within that, you're imperfect. The other reason why I have an issue with this is that Will Smith, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince, Summertime, I looked up to this guy.
Here it is, a groove slightly transformed, just a bit of a break from the norm.
And to see him as an example of a black man, he had to work himself up to get to where he is. He got to a point where this is a man that you could take home to mom. He's a clean guy. He doesn't seem to curse a lot. He seems to have some pretty conventional, pretty traditional family values. He loves his wife. That's undeniable.
You expect to be with somebody for a lifetime.
25 years and counting.
We ride together.
We die together.
Bad marriage for life.
That's terrible.
Their personal life is spilled over into the public. Maybe he's not mentally able to handle this. And if in fact that slap was real, I think he basically just did himself a disservice.
They should have never gave you niggas money!
The most ironic thing about it all was that he actually was laughing at the joke. So that tells me Will Smith has a sense of humor. Now, if everybody wants to say Jada Pinkett has a spell on him, he's a weak man, he's a simp, that's the type of blowback you get when you live in the public spotlight. That's why you have comedians to laugh at it. Chris Rock was actually very generous in that joke. He could have said a lot worse. I mean, they're openly having, his wife is openly having men on the side, or at least one, and that might be one too many. But I have to think about myself, and I want to insert myself into Will Smith and what that might be to live in a public spotlight, to live a very clean, pristine image throughout more or less the course of your career. And maybe it's just gotten the best of you. Will Smith is 53. He looks fantastic. He's been, again, somebody I think you could champion as any person. I hate to talk about race, but just in general, that's a wholesome guy from somebody that's an actor. He's always seemed to have his stuff together. I can't say many bad things about Will Smith. And this is where this cultural nuance comes in, where it starts to go down the slippery slope. And while he just sent it back with the slap, the violence that our communities are so plagued with, he fell into that based on a joke. Now, if he felt the need, he had to keep it real because, Jada rolled her eyes or whatever.
That's my girl, nigga. I keep it real.
I can't imagine the mindset of a man married to a woman that you love undeniably and unconditionally to the point where you're Will Smith. This woman must have broken you can't go to bed at night thinking, my wife was getting offers from Future. My wife was dating or had a really tight friendship with a Tupac. My wife slept with this guy, Augustine. When you look in the mirror and say, I'm Will Smith, I did everything the right way. And then you look in the rearview mirror and like, oh my God, my wife slept with somebody who was the total opposite of me. So does that mean that's what your wife is into? Does your wife like that kind of hard, rough around the edge type of guy? Does she, I don't know. So that's am I even your type, Jada? These are the type of questions I would ask myself if I was Will Smith. And again, this slap, I think, shows the fractures and the vulnerability that both men and women have in their relationships when they've been compromised by this affair. This whole argument that Chris Rock was insensitive with his joke, maybe he didn't know his wife suffered from an ailment. So instead of just really not calling violence violence, from what I'm looking at, from what I understand, is that we've condemned Chris Rock, a comedian, for making a joke, in my opinion, was actually really funny. It's clear I think it's pretty clear and obvious who's the person wearing the pants in that family is Jada. So this notion that she's hurt and Will has to run to her rescue on his white horse and the knight in shining armor to defend the honor of his wife over a joke. Basically, the way I see it, maybe I have a weird sense of humor, Jada Pinkett is a strong woman. She has a nice shaped head and she's bald. And she, from what I'm looking at, she still can grow hair. She just has a short haircut. She has a little spot, I guess, but I'm not saying she doesn't suffer from this disease, but this disease is also not something permanent. I've heard you can grow your hair back. It's an autoimmune disease I've read about. Perhaps if you're not having open affairs, maybe your autoimmune system will work a little bit better. But because you have to be stressed out that you're carrying on with second and third relationships while being married, yeah, you're probably your autoimmune system would be pretty weak, right? You would probably lose some hair if you just cheating on your spouse, right? Yes, you're stressed. So Jada, maybe no more affairs. Will, maybe this might be the turning point in your career. Maybe you don't need to hold on to a woman that is still trying to find herself and sleep with other people. There's so many unanswered questions here, and because as these people live in the public spotlight, I'm just really turned off by it. And again, Polish people, you have no idea how happy I am to be here. And just one more confirmation by looking at this, why I can't stand America. So, Polish people, how do you see it? You think Will Smith was right? You think Will Smith was wrong? Was the joke that bad? Was it that offensive? What might you do if you were in Will Smith's position? What might you do if you were in Chris Rock's position? He took it pretty well. He was pretty professional with it. That's my opinion. That's my 2 cents. Not that it matters, but Will Smith, we can't make any progress. We just keep going backwards. Even with the elite of the elite, will still take us back 100 years.
I see skies are blue, clouds are white.
Until the next one, guys. Mike and Poland, just